I've been booked to work for Joan Rivers, doing her designated security for the entire evening while she was in the building for her show. And I was with a friend of mine, Fit Cub, the one that I did the bear centipede for. And and he was like, "Oh gosh, she's amazing!" And he showed me a video that he was actually watching about her on YouTube, and it was her in her designer closet. With all of her, oh, this is my Valentino from such and such show, and this is my Mackie from such and such show, and this is my Ungaro or something from such and such. And all of a sudden, she looked really sad, and she's like, "Nobody's ever given me a present, you know." And whoever's interviewing say what, and it's like, yeah, all these like starlets and all these like nobodies, it's like they're just flash in the pan. They got all these handbags and these free float clothes, want them for everything. And I've spent so much money with these people, and not once has anybody ever given me a present. At the look on her face, you could tell that it was really sincere and genuine, and I felt really, really bad for her. So I decided I was going to do something very nice, and I'd make her a present, like from a designer. I was a top designer at the time. So I had this piece of beautiful, beautiful pistachio green Duchess silk that was woven by a company in the 70s that had, well, it had gone out of business in the 70s, and they wove all the silks and for all the coronation robes for the queen. And it had gone out of business, and this woman's mother, because her child had such beautiful blonde hair, she bought it on the chance that, like, you know, for her wedding it would make a beautiful dress. And I started making this beautiful dress for her wedding. And she said she was so pleased and so happy. And she's just like, listen, the whatever fabric is left over, just keep for yourself and make whatever you want. So I took this fabric and I started making this evening stole for Miss Rivers. Green pistachio silk with ostrich and black ostrich feather trim, gold embroidery, and beaded with black South Sea pearls and pink river pearls. It took me like 5 days to make completely by hand. So I get to work, and I've put this gift in a large cardboard box and put it in her dressing room, and I sat down, and all of a sudden the doors fly open, and she arrives, and I'm just like, I never get starstruck, but I was just like gasping. It's like, oh my God, it's Joan Rivers. And she's saying, plebe, plebe, and she looks at me, it's like, plebe, and like, oh, you're talking about the policeman and the plebeian, they call it plebs here. And she said, oh God, thank God, I wouldn't want to go on stage looking like an idiot, not being able to pronounce it properly. I said, no problem. And I stood up, I said, hi, my name is Paul, and I'm your security for the night. And she goes, lovely meeting you. And I said, listen, inside your dressing room, there's a large cardboard box with one of your wishes come true, and I hope you appreciate it. And she looked at me like I was mad, like I put someone's head in a box for her or something like that. She's like, okay, okay. So I just sat back down, and she went to her dressing room, and after a couple of minutes, I just hear, get that guy in here right now. And I walked in, I said, hello? And she goes, I don't understand, what's this? And I said that I'd seen her sat on the TV, and she looked and she said, yeah, nobody ever gives me anything. And it was like really, really genuine. And I told her, the story about it, behind the fabrics and what it's made of and everything. And all I hear about, she's just like, I can't thank you enough. My God, nobody's ever done anything like this for me before. And I keep hearing her in her dressing room saying to her friend, this old lady that travels with her, it's like, it's the Queen's silk. I've never had anything with real pearls on it before. And she was just so happy. So she was obviously getting ready for her show, and I just went back to my reading and stuff. And as she was going onto stage, she's in these towering heels, this old lady with this huge, like British style, those huge long capes that she wears, trailing meters behind her on the floor, all ostrich feather trim around it. And her assistants open the door, and she goes in, she blows me a kiss over her shoulder, and she goes on stage, and that was really, really sweet. I couldn't believe it. And after about a minute, the doors fly open. She's come dashing up the stairs on her own, thrown her arms around me and kissing me on the cheek, and said, listen, I really can't thank you enough. I just can't stop thinking about what you've done for me. It's so beautiful, and it's just so, so lovely. And yes, I made Joan Rivers' day, and I'm probably the only one that, and I must say, when she came up close and was kissing me, I was just like, oh my God, the scarage and everything like that. And this was also the point where they'd stopped using so much, what do you call it, cutting the skin away, and instead they started injecting their own ass fat into their cheeks. So her cheeks had gotten so big and puffy that literally looking down, there's no way she could see her own tits, and her tits were fucking gigantic. But that's my story about Joan Rivers. I was her favorite person for a little while because I decided to make an old lady happy because I could. A couple of months later, one of my bosses at work, behind the security desk, the VIP, they're so bored behind there, all they do is watch TV all day long. He told me that he saw Joan Rivers on a talk show, and she was wearing the evening wrap that I'd made her, and she said, "Oh, I'm glad that you like it. A friend made this for me." I was like, "Oh, I was her friend. Oh." I'd like to do a special very thanks to Liz Neal, who has kindly painted this painting of Joan Rivers for me to narrate over. And everybody, please go and follow her on her site. She does absolutely amazing videos every day, chatting away. Very, very entertaining lady. Very, very lovely. And big thanks to Liz for this collaboration. It's been a lot of fun. If you like my stories, why not join my mug club, and you can enjoy your cup of morning swill while listening to my tales of swill and depravity. Have a great day, guys.